You set your goals and you made the climb, breaking barriers, you've mastered your time. Every step taken, you fought your way. With every triumph, you seized the day. You're a rock star, yeah. No one can be like you. You're a rock star, yeah. No one can do it like you. With your focus, you've come so far, yeah. 'Cause you're a rock star. You're unstoppable, reaching high. You've proven there are no limits to the sky. Electric heartbeat guides your way. It's in the air every single day. You're a rock star, yeah. No one can be like you. You're a rock star, yeah. No one can do it like you. With your focus, you've come so far, yeah. 'Cause you're a rock star. Keep the hustle, keep the drive. You're on fire, you're alive. You're efficient, you're brave.
What's up,
Hello,
everybody?
How's everybody doing today? I have with me my friend Douglas A. Burton. How are you today?
I am doing okay. I am hanging in there, enjoying my Saturday, and it's about to get a lot better. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is one of the best movies of all time. I love this movie.
Yes,
What about
so
you?
good. Such a classic. I am doing very well. No complaints. Just
So
busy.
I'm
but
okay, and you're very well.
yes, I'm very well. Is anybody fabulous out there? Let
What's
us
up,
know in the
DJ Knight?
comments. Let us know in the comments. Yes, we thank you for everyone who has joined us today. We are going to be watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off, 1986, and I just can't wait to get into it. Before we talk about the movie, let's see who is in the chat. We got Keith E. in the house. Below is a link to Lance Outcast Creative, where he interviews the mom here on Ferris
Wow.
Bueller. Yes, I saw that, and yeah,
I will have to check that out.
yes, and so this is the link right down here. It's a really nice interview, and she's really super sweet and kind. She shared a lot of information, and the man in the that plays her husband on set, she actually met, and they fell in love, and they are husband and wife.
To this day?
Yes, I believe so. Yes, and they had 2 children together, so it was really
Ferris
really
Bueller.
wonderful.
Oh my God.
So yeah, they were in a couple of movies together too. From my recollection, to continue on, but yeah, they were fantastic in the movie, and so yeah, you could see the how well they were. They had such great chemistry, and Keith E says, "I actually cried, which I seldom do with this interview." Oh, that's so
Wow.
cool. Thank you for sharing that with us, Keith E, and thanks for being here and being
Yep.
a rock for us. Thank you so much. And Coach A is here. How are you doing, Coach A? So yes, such a classic. Luckily, I got to catch it in theaters way back in the day, when brought back for a day. When brought back for a day. Thank you.
Yeah, so they re-released it briefly.
Yeah. So yes, that's awesome. It's so great to be able to go to the theater and see these movies maybe you missed. And I hope that theaters continue to do this, play these older movies so we can get that feeling of seeing these movies in the theater. We got DJ Knight in the house. How are you doing?
All
It's so
right.
good to see you, DJ Knight. And let's see. Anything else? And Keith E is letting us know that he can hear us. And
Don't forget the banner.
DJ says dab. Okay, so yes, remind me about the banner when we're closer to putting on the movie. I definitely need that that reminder because I forgot it last time. And
Did you?
yes, I totally did. And Bonzo Kilborn is in the house. So great. Hey, I found where all the cool kids hang. Ah, that is so cool. Thank you. That's so sweet. Yes,
That's
yes,
awesome.
DJ, remind me closer and to when we're gonna do it, but we're not quite there yet. So right now I want to get your memories of or first impressions of Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
Yeah.
Douglas.
So Ferris Bueller's Day Off was, so I'm hardcore member of Gen X.
Yes,
I was born in
me too.
'76, so I was an absolute latchkey kid. Like I'm a poster child for this generation. Yeah,
Yes, me
I would
too.
walk to school both ways. And my parents both work, so I didn't see my mom or my dad till 6:30 at night. So from the end of school until 6:30 at night, I did whatever the heck I wanted to do, and
Yes.
I got in a lot of trouble plenty of times. I even got to the point where when my parents I went to bed. They put me to bed at like 9:30. So
Uh-huh.
when my parents would ground me or punish me, I'd be like, eh. I'm like, you could do it all you want, but the punishment is only for 3 hours a day from 6:30 to 9:30.
Yeah.
So I'll put up with any punishment for that amount of time. So, and my dad admitted years later that really got under his skin. So anyway, as a member of Gen X, uh,
Mhm.
there was a whole bunch of stuff in the mid to late '80s that were considered movies about our generation. Of course,
Yes.
they were written by people older than us, whatever. But you had Breakfast Club, you had Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You had all these movies coming out,
Mhm.
and there was this attitude of Gen X are a bunch of slackers. Underachieving, like Bart Simpson, I think came out in '88 or '89 with The Simpsons, and there was all this talk about how we're underachievers, we're slackers, we're just not up to snuff, is what everyone would tell us, and
Mm,
so Ferris Bueller was like this Gen X hero in
yeah.
that he is a slacker. He's gonna officially slack today by playing hooky, and he's gonna go on this wild adventure.
Yeah.
And at the time, my parents viewed this as like bad messaging, so that they did not want me to see it.
No.
I saw it anyway.
Yes.
I could do whatever I wanted. Remember, so I ended up seeing it anyway, and at the time, it was just fun to see a character who's like, school. It's like, yeah, what he said. But I have watched this multiple times since, and the older I get, the better this movie ages, and the more I realize that the messaging in this movie is very powerful, very
Mm,
strong, and very much Generation X. It's a
yes.
story about self-reliance and autonomy, personal autonomy, and the willingness to live with your decisions. So um, I think that Ferris Bueller's Day Off is actually a very poignant film, and I think it's one that has a lot of positive to say, and I think that it does carry the values of our generation in it.
Yes, I do. I agree with that. And I do love the fact that you brought up all of those points to do with, this. I mean, you can think of Ferris Bueller as a rascal a little bit. He's a bit of a little rascal. He's a little bit like Bugs Bunny. But, he he loves doing like little things like practical jokes. Those aren't above him. He's not about, you
Not at
know,
all.
yeah, he's not about being morally correct, but he really cares for his friends, and he definitely is trying to do something for his friend Cameron, and get him out of his box, and I just love that idea that he spent a lot of time just focusing on his friend and just showing him like, hey, you can have fun with life,
Yeah,
and don't let everyone else and just the pressure of it keep you in a box that you don't want to be in.
totally. There
And
are multiple poignant moments in this story. Um, you know, like I think of the art museum, or it's actually the Art
Oh,
Institute of
yes,
Chicago. So I grew up,
yes,
in Chicago.
yes.
So there are several movies from the 90s and the 80s that I watched that are filmed in, like we talked about the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Home Alone is actually in the suburb that I
Oh,
grew up
really?
in.
Wow.
Yeah, Buzz wears my high school Letterman jacket uh, from Maine South High School. That's where I went. And and Ferris Bueller is another one. It takes place in Chicago. So, you know, they're at a Cubs game. They go to the Art Institute of Chicago. So, you know, not only is it a Gen X movie, which I identify with very strongly, it's also in Chicago. So it feels very, very close to home to me. Like if I played hooky, these are the hot spots that I'd go
Yeah.
to. I don't know if I'd have the nads to call myself Abe Froman and run that one out, but it was fun watching him do it. You know,
Yeah. I
but
love the practical jokes. They were great.
yeah. Well, in this movie, you know, the principal of the high school is a moron. And there's a meme going around, which I think is pretty funny. I've seen it on Facebook a couple times. They're like, when I was in high school, I identified with Ferris Bueller. When I was in my 20s, I identified with Cameron. Now that I'm over 40, I identify with Edward Rooney.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I will never identify with Edward Rooney.
Oh, my goodness. Well, yeah, he's just a stickler for the details, and he was just really did not like the idea of this kid getting away with so much. I'm gonna tell my story, you know, so a little bit about what but I'm not even sure if I have a specific story, except for seeing it so much and really, again, identifying with all of the movies that kind of came out at that time, and this one was really one of the more, I think they all were really a lot of fun, but this one was like the most fun.
Yeah.
It was the most fun you could. I mean, with even like as a musical part in the middle of it. I mean, that's totally different.
Love it.
So it was really great. Let's see. Some other people are just walked in the door. Let's make sure to say hello to them. Sergeant Giratana is here. Says hello, chat and retro nerd girl. So good to see you. And we got a question. Bonzo Kilburn says, why was Cameron wearing a Red Wings sweater around Chicago? Do you know that question, the answer to that question at all?
I think it's a good question. I don't think it was a sweater. I think it was a jersey. I think it was a Red Wings jersey.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a totally great. I would have preferred him wearing a Blackhawks jersey in the 80s, but who knows? Yeah, it is a little odd that they would set it in Chicago and his hockey jersey would be from Detroit. You know?
Yeah, very strange. I don't know anything about that kind of sports.
And by the way, what else is weird is wearing jerseys was not as normal in the 80s as I don't really remember people wearing jerseys recreationally until closer to the 90s. So
yeah, that is a 90s thing. Yeah, definitely.
yeah, it was more of a 90s.
Yeah.
But here he's doing it, so maybe he helped set the trend. Who knows?
Maybe. Well, Ron is here. Great to see you, Ron. Thanks for joining us today. And let's see. Ron says, didn't know what Gen X is. I was born in 1952, so I'm a baby boomer. Yes.
Hey, right on, Ron. My dad was born in 52, and he's a baby boomer. You know, he always said that baby boomers had the music. You know, the Beatles, the Stones, and he's like, the 80s, you guys got the movies. Like what we could share.
We got some good music in there too. We snuck a little bit in there.
Oh, for sure.
And the music of the 50s was just fantastic. Let's see what else. And DJ Knight says, so this was a great idea. Oh,
Awesome.
Thank you. Yes. Well, anything, you know, we like to have fun around these parts. So, and it is a party.
Yeah, I have to say too, Ferris Bueller, from a storytelling standpoint, you know, like you said, when you're younger, I viewed this pure as just entertainment value.
Yeah.
You know, watching him play hooky at this epic level for a high schooler, you know, sticking it to the principal and having the entire community and the city of Chicago on his side. Like, I love that, right?
Well,
And
they
I
don't
mean, the
make
whole city's
characters
on
like
his
this.
side.
Yeah, they don't make characters like this anymore. Like, what other character is like this? This is very strange to
I
have a
love it.
character like this
Well,
that
and
cannot lose.
yeah, and you know, it's from a storytelling standpoint, as a writer,
Mm.
as I rewatched this guy maybe 10 years ago, I was like, you know what's very interesting about Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Ferris Bueller is not the character of consequence in this film.
Oh yes,
Uh,
you're so right.
he is a catalyst. Right. It's unusual, but he is a catalyst. Ferris Bueller does not change in this story. And you would think
Yes.
that that's a mistake in the writing. Ferris
Mm.
Bueller begins where he begins and he ends in the same place. He is not a
Yeah.
changed man.
Ooh,
However, Cameron is. Cameron is a changed man. Cameron, and I would even argue Simone to some extent.
yes.
Both of those characters seem to go through a character arc, but none more so than Cameron. His
Yeah.
character arc is powerful and emotional at times. When he's kicking that red Ferrari, you know, like I still feel that anger
Yeah.
that he's
Yeah.
experiencing. And
Yeah.
then by the end of the film, Cameron's the biggest grown up in the room, which is an amazing transformation out of him because he was a weird character, right? In the beginning, he
Yes,
was so
yeah.
weird and neurotic and quirky.
Neurotic. Yeah.
So from a writing room, from the writer's room,
Yeah.
the part of the magic in this story is this outlandish, over the top lead character in Ferris Bueller is the unexpected catalyst for change in another character.
Yeah.
I think
mean,
that's awesome.
yeah, I feel like the focus, the focus when it really shifts toward, I mean, he even talks about in the beginning what he plans on doing. And so you kind of dismiss it because of the other shenanigans that are going on, like
Yeah.
and the comedy and the pranks. But he also like really does says like I'm out to help my friend Cameron, and he actually does that, and
Yes.
offers him a different way of life. I mean, he tries to shake him up a little bit and get him to live life, because
So,
at this point he's not.
well, he's living in fear, and this
Yeah.
fear comes out as hypochondria, right?
Yes.
As anxiety, as and we'll talk about Cameron as we watch. He's actually a fascinating character.
Oh,
to
he's
me.
wonderful. Yeah.
Who's
love
the other character that
him.
goes through the biggest change in this story?
Well,
I don't mean to
I
put
I
you on the spot, by the way.
Well, I would say Jeannie. She's
The
okay.
sister.
Heroine's Labyrinth at all?
Yeah, yeah,
At all?
yeah. Go ahead.
Because she really does. She's like, she really goes through like a huge transformation. Whatever happens between her and her brother is always her brother.
Right.
Like she will defend him against anyone else. But that ending was just, I loved her little adventure, if you will, trying to bust her brother and get him in trouble, but at the same time, she's like, she has a twist kind of that
Yeah.
happens, and it just is wonderful. I'm like, Jeannie, you are just amazing.
And what's so interesting, and she is an angry woman in this story.
Yes.
Yes. Like her anger and frustration toward her older brother is palpable. Like you sense it. She is like scowling and grinding, and she seems hell-bent on getting him in trouble. And what is also interesting, and we'll explore this when we watch it, but there is a wise mentor character for her, and it's the least likely character in the whole world. So everything you've been told, this came out in 86. I was 10 when this came out, right?
Yeah.
Everything you've been told, drugs are bad. This is the guy who's strung out is the wise mentor character in this. So this movie flips, and he's got a great point when he says it, and it still hits me when I watch it. you know, he is kind of, you know, loopy and spacey when he's like just staring at her on the bench. But then he's like, maybe you ought to spend a little bit less time worrying about your brother and more time worrying about yourself. It's like, boom, that hits you with the voice of responsibility. And it's like, this guy shouldn't be the one delivering this message. And yet it works. It totally works. And and then I get a kick out of her making out with him afterward and kind of, you know, giggling in front of her mom and getting kind of goofy. So anyway, she's great in this. Yes. Everyone's great in this. So I think we're in for a real treat rewatching this one.
Yeah, I do love it. And just to say hello to some of the people who walked in the door, we got Sin Havoc in the house. Saying,
what's up, Sin Havoc?
Says hello to you and says hello to me. Thank you for being here, Sin Havoc. So great to see you. And we got Chef Nation in the house. How are you? It says good afternoon, beautiful people. I can say that I have done a Ferris day off. Yes, oh, they're the best. I've done that too, in my own little way. I didn't have the entire city on my side, but it was so weird. It was so weird because when I did have a Ferris day off, all I did is I went to the library. What a nerd.
Oh yeah, that's total Nerdville. That's great. We love this town here. This digital town loves that.
So that was my day. That was my day to like be happy as
there was no water tower that said save retro.
Yeah, no, nobody cared. They didn't even miss me.
Oh man.
Havoc, you're so sweet. Thank you for saying this because I often forget. It says like, share, and subscribe to Retro Nerd Girl. Thank you so very much. Yes, I often forget. So thank you so much for reminding me and everyone to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And Ron says, I can't remember this film. I know the title, so I might have seen it years ago, but I don't remember anything about it.
Well, Ron, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, you're in for a treat. It's a lot of fun. And one thing about, the 80s, definitely you get that, that's 50s vibe that like kind of ekes into the 1980s stuff. So you'll get shadows of that. And then there's the wonderful song Twist and Shout.
Oh yeah, the Beatles version. Yeah.
Yeah, so good, so good. And you might like that. There's also Don Cachane in there too.
Don Cachane.
Great, really great. And Chef Nation says when Cameron was in Egypt's land, let
Cameron go. That is good stuff, Chef Nation.
And DJ Knight says, yes, Jennifer Grey. Yes, she was so fantastic in this.
She is so adorable in this.
Right?
So cute.
She is super, super cute. And also just like there is a certain amount of gravitas that she has, just in general, how she's playing the character. And again, the ending is just so superb. And I'm trying to think of other actresses that could play that, and she just nails it so hard.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's because she gives a performance here. She's not mailing this in. She is all in on every scene she's in.
Yes.
And in the end, when she kind of flips and takes his side, it's the most rewarding moment, perhaps, in the whole film.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's well earned too. It's not like a fluke or anything. You definitely get some consequence. It's like a shift of consequences that lead up to this moment. So it's believable. It was a surprise, but it was believable, and she delivered it really, really well. Yeah, and we got Stunt Brat in the house. Oh my goodness,
Stunt Brat! Yeah. Brad's one of my faves.
Yes, she's amazing. This is my sweet retro girl and Douglas day off. Thank you. Let's see. And Rick Man is here. Says hello, all RNG and all. Happy to catch a live with you. Yes, so good to see you. Oh my goodness. Oh, and Mark D with a C is
Bueller.
here. Yes, Bueller.
Bueller. It's so funny. I always, when I watch movies now, I think about in what ways did this movie have cultural impact?
Yes.
And I think about, do you see references or memes, or are there lines that have become famous lines? And Ferris Bueller's got a lot. I mean,
A lot
Save
of
Ferris
yeah.
is its own rally cry that you'll see on T-shirts and things like that, bumper
Yeah.
stickers even to this day.
Yeah.
You'll see it hashtagged on X or Facebook. Everybody in the world knows Bueller.
Yeah.
Bueller. This hopeless roll call that this teacher's stuck on a loop and apparently is unable to pull out of it unless someone responds.
Yeah.
So just a lot of great stuff in this movie. And it wasn't particularly great, but True Detective Night Country came out last year with Jodie Foster. And it started really good and ended really bad. But as part of the mystery, they enter this Arctic base, very reminiscent of The Thing, by the way, 1982. They enter this Arctic base in Alaska, and there's a mystery there. But playing in a loop on the TV is Ferris Bueller singing "Twist and Shout." So he's singing "Twist and Shout," and then it freezes and skips back, and he's singing it again. So I was like, man, even we have even Ferris Bueller showing up here, like in these really unusual places. So the cultural relevance is confirmed. Bueller has lived on.
Incredible. It gave the actor who says those lines like a huge career beyond like just those words. He continued to roll with it. He shows up in things, and that's pretty cool. That just a couple of lines could make you completely unforgettable. And so Jay says she's very adorable, isn't she? She was really cute in that
Yeah.
movie. And Chef Nation says, does everyone have their whiteout? Oh no, just kidding. Don't do it, kids. Oh yeah, whiteout. Oh gosh, how many people like
Yeah.
we're sniffing whiteout and Elmer's glue. And Keith E says Charlie Sheen. Yes, he was so good in that little part, that little tiny part. He was just
Fantastic.
amazing. Yeah. And DJ Knight says, Jeannie, I'm cute, innocent, and I don't need to be violated.
Yeah, she's like a very cute and very protective of my body. She was fantastic. I love, my kids got a kick out of her like triple kicking Ed Rooney in the face.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing.
Whoa.
And then she just scours off and runs out of pure fear. And Mark D with a C says she's great in the scene with Charlie.
Absolutely.
Charlie Sheen, yeah. And
it's so funny because she's so put off by him, and she's like sneering at him, and he just somehow outlasts her, and she's in the end she's just like smitten by him. Thank you, Kojay.
Flynn lives. Is that that's Tron?
That's Tron, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. He fights for the users.
Yes, for the users. Oh man, okay. Let's keep going. I'm just going to zoom down a little bit, guys. And Kojay says, Bueller made me make the most of the days when I skipped class.
Interesting. Make it count.
I still feel bad about admitting that I skipped any classes because then, I don't know, they might come back and give me like a demerit or something. I know that it's been like years, but still, you just
That's
never...
Nerd Girl, we saw your last live cast.
We found out
you're
that
wanted for questioning.
Yes.
You were absent in 1986.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm so sorry. That was me. Oh.
9 times.
And Mark D with a C says, holy smoot tariff time.
Yeah, Mark D with a C. I love it because only as an adult would you actually listen to the teacher for a second. And I'm like, oh, he's like, you're talking about European socialism, the Holly Smoot Terrifier. I was like, oh man, I missed this whole lesson he's giving in the past, but it's all there.
And Chef Nation says, can we admit Cameron's dad had an awesome car garage? Yes, he did.
You made the switch to an adult because as a kid, you're like, yeah, take that, Cameron's dad. And then when you're older, you're like, oh my God, did he wreck that Ferrari? What's he thinking? Now I'm a little upset about the Ferrari.
Well, I have to say I was upset about the Ferrari since the beginning. I don't know what it is. I don't even own a car, guys. But for some reason I love cars. And I think that they're so cool. And but I don't even own one. And so I don't need one. But it's so weird. When I saw that car, I was like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. Then when it got destroyed, I was like, ooh.
I struggle with that scene now. As much as I'm happy for Cameron and his rebellion, I'm like, couldn't we have gotten there without destroying this car?
I know, just couldn't we? And some Brett says, Retro, yesterday I got you a very warm Grinchy Prezi. Ooh. Thank you. Can't wait. Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Thank you so much. You are so kind. I'm still working through the chocolates. They're so tasty. I might have one later on. So good. Thank you so much, Dunbret. You're amazing. You're amazing.
A Grinchy Prezi.
I know. I can't wait. I love the Grinch. And Mark D says, wrecking the car was horrible. I think it was a repo in the movie. Oh, okay. That makes me feel a little better because it was, because even as a kid, I was like, oh my God, that is a beautiful car. Did you have to do that?
Yeah, come on, man. Your shirt and glasses are Ferrari red, Retro.
That's right.
Yeah.
Vroom vroom.
I like it.
And someone says, Retro, did you try the chocolate mint yet? No, I haven't tried the chocolate mint yet. I have to be very careful because something to do with mint and my allergies. So I have to be very, very careful. And I might be able to have like a cube or two, but I will let you know as soon as I try it. The other ones, the raisin ones, they were gone the first night. That was delicious. I think I just threw it away.
Retro, if you need anyone to taste test those just to make sure they're safe, let me know. I will jump on that grenade for you.
Well, thank you. I mean, chocolate is really, so good. Yes, and Sunrise says, Retro, read the ingredients pretty clean. I did read the ingredients, so I just have to be like, I just want to try it a little bit and then see. I'm sure I'm gonna love it. I'll trust my stunt rat. And Mark's D says 5 facts about the Ferrari and Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Ooh, I'm gonna click on that.
Tip. Yeah. Okay. So you click on it. Let me know what you discover. So far the candies are so good. And Rick says that my brother is in this. Oh my goodness! For a quarter second behind Jennifer Grey when she knocks the cup out of the hand of the kid raising money. He's right behind her. Oh my goodness. So cool.
How awesome is that?
Yeah. Ooh, and guys, don't forget about the one scene with the car and they're playing Star Wars.
Oh my God. Back in 86, Return of the Jedi was 3 years ago when this movie came out. So they were right on top of it.
Oh man, it was great. It was so good. And Sergeant Giratana says, I do wonder, Retro, do you know why Katie, Peter, and Andy moved to New Orleans, Louisiana? They seem to keep doing these long drives back to Texas over the weekend. I am not sure. I mean, I follow their channel. I can get some stuff, but I don't like know their some of the stuff that's going on. So that you will have to tell me about. You can also send me a personal email. My email is in the description, so you can fill me in there. And Sergeant says, I feel it's straining them with flexibility. Check their message and much more. Oh yeah, okay. Well, just send me a message and let me know. I don't think anyone here knows what's going on
I
with
have no
that. But
idea.
let me know. And Rick says I'm wearing a bright powder blue shirt. Ooh, cool. Oh, he's wearing a bright powder blue shirt. Okay, so
We will keep an eye out for him.
yeah, we're gonna look out for your brother in this showing. So let me know. Okay. And so did you find out anything interesting from the links, Doug?
Oh, I didn't click on it yet. It looked like a
Oh, okay.
video, so I was gonna
Oh,
watch it later.
it's a video. Okay. So while just before we get into the watching, this of course is Ferris Bueller's Day Off, 1986. They consider this to be a teen comedy film. And of course, it was written, co-produced, and directed by John Hughes. And John
One of the
Hughes is
best.
just responsible for so many amazing movies in the 1980s. The film stars Matthew Broderick, Mia Sara, Alan Ruck. We also have Jennifer Grey, Jeffrey Jones, Cindy Pickett, Edie McClurg, Lyman Ward, and Charlie Sheen. Really, really, really good stuff there. The budget was 5 million and the box office was pretty good. It was 70 million. And so that would be considered a hit back in the day.
Oh, big time. That'd be considered a
Yeah.
hit today.
Yeah. And the wonderful teacher that is like always saying Bueller, Bueller.
Ben
It's
Stein.
Ben Stein, yes. And he really kind of made a big comeback on MTV. He had a show on MTV there for a while. Which was like a little like learn something with Ben Stein or something. I forgot what
I
it was
remember
called.
that. For
But
Ben
yeah.
Stein's cash or something. You won his money or something?
Oh, so it
Win
was
Ben
like a
Stein's
Jeopardy?
money?
Yeah, it was like a Jeopardy show almost, like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to be smart enough to yeah. And he was just fantastic and absolutely memorable, just from the few things that, he said in there. There's also Christy Swanson, who makes, like, a small little appearance, in one of the classes, and, I think those are all the prominent names in there, in this movie
Who's
that would
Christy
be
Swanson?
Christy Swanson is the lady who played Buffy the Vampire Slayer from the movie.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
the 1992 movie, the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Right.
which I love that movie so much too.
Oh my
Um,
god, that's totally yeah. Yeah, she plays like a ditzy teen for like a second, right?
yeah, well, one thing about the movie is that she just plays like a like more of like kind of a valley girl type,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then she kind of gets, it still has those tropes of like, of that, but she's really kind of smart, I think. Let's see. And Mark D with a C says in 1961 Ferrari 250 is worth about 12 million today. Ooh, the budget for the movie in 1985 was 5 million. Oh yes. All right. And
Jeez.
so Keith says that it reminds me about the banner. Okay, and the banner we can put this up. Oh, and we've got Google user in the house says it's fascinating. The concept of Buffy goes back so far. Yes, 1992.
Wow.
Great movie. Great movie. Ben Affleck does makes an appearance in that movie as well. A very small cameo.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I do apologize that I have intense allergies today. So I pretty much have them every day. So, uh, but they seem to be acting up extra specially spicy today. And so thank you. All right. So we got the banner up, guys. And we're
Who's
getting
ready
close
to take
to
a day off from school?
Yes, we're
We're all going to play hooky together today.
yes, let's go play hooky. I've got the timer here. Let's see if I can get it working. Okay. And so how it works is that I have my copy and you have your copy, and we watch our copies together. And that will be a fun time. Let's see, Google user says early 90s vibe makes it so different. Don't think the show would have been as great if it started earlier. Ooh, I'm not sure. One day I sat down and I watched all of Buffy, and then I watched Angel as well, and it was really, really good. All those TV shows. So,
Wow.
but it took the whole day. It took the entire day. Okay, so I will not be able to see your comments going forward. But
I'll
I
try
do
to keep
have
an eye on it.
Yes, I do have an alternative computer over here where I can take a look at it. I call it my auxiliary computer. I could take a look at some of the comments as they come in. If there are new people who come in and they are saying hi to me, just let them know that I will not be able to see their comments.
Okay, I'll try to shout out certain comments here and there.
Oh, thank you so much. Doug, you're amazing. And then
Retro, I do what I can.
you are, yes. And Google user says, I feel like the mid to the late 90s in general had a darker vibe. Oh, yes, it did. Yes, it did. And I liked it.
Yeah, well, they moved away from some of the campiness, which marked the 80s. But, you know, they did a good job with it in the 80s, too. You know, every era kind of has its own thing going.
Yeah. There were a couple of those like campy things like the Addams Family, and they brought back the Brady Bunch and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
and it was hilarious. But I think it was also a lot, you know, especially like 97 on. It was like black leather. The darker you can make your film, the better. You know, we got the Crow, we got the Blade, we got the Matrix, we got Dark City. It's just like how can we make this as dark as possible?
Ending with the Matrix, 1999.
Yeah. And, let's see, Fight Club 2, that was pretty dark too.
Loved Fight Club.
Yeah, wasn't it great?
Yep.
Let's see. All right, so the countdown will begin. It will be from 5 to 1, and then we will press the button right after. I'm going to have a visual aid for you that will have the closed captions for you to follow. You follow those closed captions. If you can catch up to that as close as possible, we'll be all on the same page. The timer is just for we really don't need the timer if we're going to do that, but just in case, I'll have the timer as well, because it all kind of helps. So let's get ready.
Let's do it.
Before we go, let's get all psyched up. So let's see, where's my there we go. Let's get psyched up, everybody.
It's party time. Hear the alarms chime. Let's watch a movie. It's time to get groovy. It's time to party, party, party. We got to party, party, party. It's time to party, party, party. Party, party, party all night long. All night long.
All right.
Woo! We're all pumped up and ready to go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Let me get the proper layout for us.
Okay, I think I'm pretty in sync here.
Okay. And okay, I think I'm synced up about as much as I can be.
What a great opening shot for him.
Look at him pretending. Oh man. I like how they're like totally panicked. They're like, no, no, I'm not a precious baby.
And
Oh,
and these two, they dress them up like perfect 80s parents. She looks exactly like my mom in the 80s, like exactly. She is so ticked. So they are establishing perfect conflict like immediately with her.
Yes.
I want out of this family. And I like the camera work here where it's from his perspective looking up
Yes.
and the parents are looking right into the camera.
Oh, yes.
And I love him playing into like the mom buttons here, like he's just playing sweet and vulnerable, and the mom's just like eating it up. He talks in like baby voice a little bit here and there.
That's just so hilarious because he's freaking
It's totally working. You know this is gonna work on mom.
Oh,
Ringy,
man.
ringy. They bought it. I love it.
By the way, his room is like totally epic.
Yeah, yeah. As a kid, you're like, man, I want my room to look like that. So yeah, and this is a movie that clearly breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah, right
And it
away.
does it consistently, and I think it's one of the movies that is extremely effective in doing that.
Yeah.
One of the worst performances of my career. He's so self-righteous through all this too. I love it.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
could I possibly be expected to go to school? Nice stereo system for 1986. So yeah, this movie kind of highlights some of the emerging technology of the time, like the personal
yeah.
computer to hack into the computer to change his grade, the stereo equalizer system that he uses to play music, the synthesizer for when he has all the sound effects in it.
Yeah.
And I love this where they're actually like putting it on, making clammy palms. Phony fever, you could get a nervous mother. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Lick your palms. Yeah, that was the line that I loved as a kid where he's like, it's childish and stupid, but then again, so is high school. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Moonbeam is here. Hi, Moonbeam.
What's up, Moonbeam?
So good to see you. DJ K-Night Genie. Ugh, this family. Oh, Keith E says, fun fact, Ferris Bueller ultimately got married. Both actors, they had 2 children, yes. I
Wow.
kind of mentioned that earlier, but yeah, they fell in love on the set.
That's
They had
amazing.
such good chemistry.
Isms, in my opinion, are not good.
Mm.
He was the walrus.
Here, there he is, Ben Stein. Oh, there's Kirsty.
Yeah, there she is. I get such a kick out of this classroom. It's such a statement on the uselessness of the American classroom, or at least the way it felt at the time. These kids are like falling asleep, they're drooling. Bueller. My boyfriend's sister's like best friend. Thank you, Simone.
Oh, that is such a nice little
Yeah, that's like
pad right
Frank
there.
Lloyd Wright territory there. Cameron, what I always thought he was so goofy when I was younger. I was like, man, he's like hard to watch. He's so bizarre. He like would pull faces and say the craziest things. But then he was great when he was pranking Rooney on the phone call.
Oh, he was so yeah.
Rooney. Yeah, and what's funny is you get a sense that Cameron Fry was going to be playing hooky anyway, just not in a fun way.
Yeah. Like he really did think he was sick.
Yeah, yeah, he's a hypochondriac. It's kind of in
Yeah.
his head. He is spiritually sick.
I love this music here.
Everyone knows this thing too. You're not dying. By the way, I
Yeah.
watched this with my kids, 9 and 12 years old, this past maybe like a couple months ago. They loved Ferris Bueller's Day Off. We ended up
Mm.
watching it like a couple days later. They wanted to watch it again, both of them.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes, so they love Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and
Oh,
they
I
get a kick
love
out of
that.
every time Ferris was like one step ahead of Cameron. Like he's like, "I think I'm dying," and he's like, "You're not dying." My kids, for some reason, loved that Ferris was clairvoyant on this issue.
Oh man, I'm so glad that your kids are getting such a good education from you.
They are definitely getting the pop culture education of a lifetime.
Yes. They're gonna say to their friends, you gotta see Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah. Well, it is. It has a good message, a message of self-reliance, which is camouflaged in the slacker culture of the 80s.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, she is hysterical in this.
Oh, she's yeah. Well, when isn't she? And she's
It
in
makes you look like
everything.
an ass head.
Yeah. How many pencils does she have in there?
Edward R. Rooney. Well, could you have come up with a better name for a principal?
No, I could have sworn I had a principal by that name.
Really?
he was my he was my principal.
And so here, this is kind of like a new idea where
Yes,
you
I
can
love it.
hack into the mainframe
Mhm.
9 times. Wake up and smell the, what does he say? Smell the coffee, Mrs. Bueller. It's a fool's paradise. I have it right here.
8, 7, 6. He's watching the numbers go down. She's sniffing white out.
They do a great job with Grace and Rooney.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, they're like their own little separate comedy skit.
They are.
You know? Yeah, my mom's hair was exactly like that, kind of short, poofy up front. She wore exactly that corporate level attire. She was in Avon corporate. She started as an Avon lady, my mom, and moved into corporate at some point.
Wow.
Anyone? I love how they're all staring at him too. Like, are you seriously asking us to respond? There's the hot Holly Smoot tariff act. All these kids crack me up, man. You're just asking too much of them right now, you know?
Yeah. They're not even blinking.
It's like they're like stunned that someone is attempting to teach them a lesson. Anyone see this before? This is the laugher curve. You can see the drool trail.
Ew. Oh my goodness, I forgot that he was vice president.
Yeah. Something do economics. Yeah, I mean, and you know, it's funny is someone interviewed him like a couple months ago, pretty recently, and they said, "What will you be remembered for?" And he goes, "Ferris Bueller." He goes, "I will be remembered." We're talking about Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
And
He's right.
he's like, "I'm going to be remembered as Ferris Bueller." And he goes, "For a long time, I resisted this. I didn't want that to be true." He's like, "But now I'm comfortable with it."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love this because it's like the legend grows.
Yeah.
All these like little anecdotal stories about Ferris. Did you see Alien? We've seen Alien on this channel.
Yes. Oh, well, we haven't. I mean, we haven't seen it together and on the channel.
we haven't?
You've seen it. No, I haven't done it yet, but it showed 2025.
Okay, let me know. That's one of my all-time faves.
That would be 1 or 2 or both.
Both 1 and 2 are some of my. 2 is I like 2 more than I like Aliens.
Me too.
Slightly more than Alien, but both of them are tip top. I love how this chick just hops on there and she's concerned about him. Oh man, it sounds pretty serious. Will you be alive this weekend?
So cool.
So yeah, and synthesizers, this was a big deal. I remember I was really obsessed with having like a really top-notch synthesizer when I was in the 80s.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. I'm telling you, you could do like, if this was released today, you would have shorts of just these two in different school scenarios. Like it's a separate comedy skit.
Oh yeah. Just her pulling the pencils out of her hair is just like, how many you got in there?
Well, it's funny because at times she makes him look reasonable, like he's not an idiot, and then suddenly she'll swing around and just punk him. You know?
I love it.
The motorheads, the geeks and sluts, they all love him.
Righteous dude.
He's a righteous dude. And I love how he thinks he's cutting off this descent into like corrupt adolescence by getting to Ferris here.
Yeah.
You sounded like Dirty Harry just then. He's like, really? I did?
Look
So
at the old
great.
mouse. Look at that mouse. Ah!
That's gigantic. Yeah, again, they're showing off the technology of the time.
Yeah.
Be a man.
Wow.
Hello. I like how he has to get into character, you know.
Oh man. Oh man.
Sure thing, pal. Yeah, and wasn't call waiting kind of a new thing in '86?
I think so. I'm not sure the exact year it showed up, but yeah, that was kind of weird that you could do that.
Yeah, there was a big deal when it first came out. I remember that.
Yeah.
And then wireless phones
Yeah. And then
or cordless.
But the cordless ones though, they were huge when they started.
And answering machines. I remember our whole family, we really got excited when our parents bought an answering machine. And we made this like Star Wars message. You know?
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the part my kids loved, that he could predict everything that Cameron was doing. He's just going to keep calling me. Going to make me feel guilty. I love Cameron, man. I like how he has this like over the top crisis here. He's like, he's like punching the steering wheel. So as a kid, this is the part with Cameron that I was like, man, he's weird. I just couldn't understand his bizarre behavior when I was a kid.
Yeah. I just thought he was hilarious.
You know, he is hilarious.
Yeah.
So it says a lot about his dad too. He's got this, $1 million
Yes.
Ferrari in 1986, but his son's driving this, I don't know what it is, but looks like a hand-me-down, and it looks like his dad could afford a lot more. Yeah, look at him back there.
Terrible. I was just going to mention that because I was like, "Oh, that card looks really."
I got to be honest. When I'm impersonating a stuffy old teacher, this is the guy that I channel. Yeah. In what way? He just takes forever to say a sentence. These kids could care less. The school nurse.
Yeah, that when she came around, that was serious.
It's serious. And I had a huge crush on Simone.
She knows that she's leaving.
Is it what?
She's like, "Oh, me."
Yeah, she plays it off perfectly. Mia Sarah. That's who the actress is.
Oh,
I
Mia
had
Sarah.
such a crush on her from this movie.
Me too, but from I had a crush from her from Legends, actually. Well, this movie, but also Legends. I was like, "You go, girl."
Yeah. Yeah, she was adorable. She was like the model of what like a beautiful girl was at the time for me.
Yeah.
Hard to tell these days. I love this whole swapperoonie on the phone.
Yes, I love it.
This is George Peterson. I love how Rooney is just so sure of himself here.
Yeah.
Starts swearing at him and everything. Why don't you wheel her old corpse in here and yeah, he's like, you produce the dead body of the grandmother and we'll let him out of school. Or Simone out of school.
She turns around. She's like, "What?"
You produce the corpse and I'll release Simone. Completely unreasonable. And I like how she suddenly thinks this is a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did you say you want to see the body? Roll her old bones on over here. Yeah, this is just great stuff. Totally holds up. And her abject terror.
Yes.
Tell you what, he starts calling them names. You can smooch my big old white butt.
Oh, this is a beautiful trap. A beautiful trap.
Just perfectly done from a filmmaking standpoint. He's completely
Yeah.
terrified. And the upper hand shifts to Ferris Bueller. Because what's funny too is they don't really show you, the viewer, the first time who the prank caller is until
Yeah.
we all know who it is because we've seen it. But the first time you saw this, you're like, then wait, then what's going on here?
I remember those phones with the light
Oh
up.
yeah.
Oh God.
Mr. Peterson? Well, I should say you do. Love it.
I always wondered if he was impersonating his dad.
Yeah, it's funny. He gave him an accent and everything. You know, I would never deliberately insult you like that. And you know, from as a kid watching this when I was 10 or 11, how satisfying was it to see the principal completely on the ropes here?
So great.
Call me sir. God dang it. Ferris Bueller.
It's also really great to see Cameron like smiling and happy
Yeah.
and doing something fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I thought that made me laugh hard as an adult because it's such a terrible impersonation of him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
man.
her impression of Edward Rooney. That actually reveals her opinion of him.
Yes.
This is great. Talk. Rooney. What? What are you thinking? And it's funny because this is exactly how boys fight at this age. Like it's like a legitimate argument. How can we pick her up if Rooney's sitting right there? And his answer is good. He's like, I said not to do it, and you're free. You hit me. He's all dramatic about it. Little touchy through here, right?
Yeah.
You make me make a fake phone call to Edward Rooney? And this is classic at this age. See you, man. I'm going home. That's just like Eric Cartman. Screw you guys. I'm going home. That is great. You know, it's scenes like this that I feel like are missing from modern movies. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
you have to think of that. That's hysterical.
yeah. He has to look like he's in charge, but he's like, no, I'm not in charge.
Yeah, because there's
None of
probably
the
a no
fighters.
running in the halls rule, right?
Oh, that too. Yeah, see, always thought it was like he had to make it look like he was, um, you
Under
know,
control.
yeah, like he was setting an example. Oh, bye.
And so again, they are setting things up ingeniously in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yes.
You think because it's a comedy or something, that you don't have to work as hard on the storytelling. You just have to be
Ooh,
funny.
yeah.
Wrong. They are doing a genius job of introducing everything at exactly the right time.
Yeah.
And even this montage, it draws extra attention to this amazing car. And Cameron's little monologue there is perfect. It is his love. It is his life. So this is the most important thing on earth. And Ferris is like, and we're going to commandeer it today.
Yeah. Well, they have to now, and they set up the
Yes.
storyline where they have to, because it's the only way that they can impress Rooney to think that, oh, not a kid is driving this car.
Right.
So. Ferris is like circling it like a shark.
Gives it a chef kiss.
Yeah.
And I like how to Ferris, this is like the most reasonable solution.
Yes,
Like
we have
we
to.
have
We
to
have
do
to use it. Yeah, we have to use it. And he's right, because they're in the bind now.
Like, I'm sorry. I love how as he's getting in,
He's like,
he knows he's getting away with too much. Never has, never will. See, Cameron is one of the reasons I find him so fascinating is he's constantly vacillating as a character from neurotic, ineffective to like commanding. There's times where he has like commanding presence and it bounces back and forth with him, and yet he feels like a coherent character. It's very unusual to pull this off.
yeah, excellent performance.
Yeah, excellent performance is right.
Yeah.
I get a kick out of her here too. She's like, Edward, you're a beautiful man. This like over the top, like melodramatic, like compliment to him. And he's doing some like half-ass Bible quote.
She's like, oh boy.
And it's almost cartoon-like how Ferris just appears on the other side of this as the bus passes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's like just pure right out of a cartoon. Like poof, there he is. And look at her, she's impressed. Hurry along, dear. That is convincing, though. You see,
Yeah.
someone pull up in a Ferrari. You're not thinking it's teenagers on doing a prank. I love that. You're a beautiful
Yes.
man, Edward. This is.
And
I
Danny's
love how
just like
she's totally
watching.
onto this.
Yeah.
This is great too. Do you have a kiss for daddy?
He's like, what? Are they friends?
What a great reaction. So that's how it is in this family. And I like how he turns around and gives Edward one more look.
Yeah. Like, yeah, gotcha.
Those hats weren't as big in the 80s, but I do remember trench coats kind of making a comeback in the 80s.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I remember my dad had one for a while. Like they did make a little comeback. I love the broken fourth wall there.
A lot of like older men wore them. I don't remember any kids.
Yeah, so it was big in the 50s and 40s.
Yeah.
It was like the fedora and the trench coat was a pretty typical look. And then, of course, it went out of style. But in the 80s, it made a brief comeback. Men started wearing the trench
Look at
coats
the
again.
license plate. It says nervous.
Yeah, that's right. Ah, man, I would love to drive one of those. Chicago. I grew up in the 80s in Chicago. I always remember that diamond building. And, in the 80s, the Sears Tower was the tallest building in the world still, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
There's the John Hancock building, the Water Tower, Marina Towers right there. That's from Blues Brothers, if you remember.
So cool.
Yeah, so all this looks very familiar. God, that car just looks great in every shot.
Yes.
Yeah, Cameron's like the kind of guy it'd be so easy to get a rise out of him.
Oh, yeah. Save.
what
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying?
You're looking up for the blue shirt. The guy
Oh,
with the
blue shirt guy.
Where is he? Is that him walking by?
That might that must have been him right there. Was that him?
Oh, there he is. That's Rick's brother.
Wow.
Rick, we saw your brother.
Sighting confirmed.
Yay.
Left side toward camera. Awesome. I like how she trails off on this one. You can reach us at the following number, and then she just starts crying instead. You pinhead. Yeah, right here. She's like, you can reach us at the following number, and then she doesn't provide the number. Ferris Bueller's behind this. Oh, is he great?
I have everything like covered. And I love that he thought of everything.
Everything. That's what's so satisfying is that it seems to be such a well organized hooky.
Yes.
He's got a committed principle on his tail, and he still has, penned off all the gotcha busted moments.
Yeah.
I love this line. When he looks back on the ruin his life has become, he will remember Edward Rooney. It's like a manifesto that he has just declared.
Yeah.
I love this character, by the way, this parking garage attendant.
Oh, am I behind or are you ahead? Let me see.
I mean, it's a blink. I think you're ahead by a blink.
I'm ahead?
On the visual on the screen.
Oh, yeah. I'm slightly a little bit ahead. Okay, let me pause. That might catch up.
You're only ahead by a split second.
There he is.
I love this guy. You're a very generous individual. I mean, perfect. You know, there was a sequel that was going to be made with him and the other guy. Did you know that?
To do with the two parking guys.
Yeah, I don't think that was a great idea, but I love these guys.
Yeah, they're great.
Are they worthy of carrying the entire sequel? Probably not. But who knows? You know, you don't know until you see it.
I mean, if it was like a, just a goofy comedy, like, Harold and Kumar, or one of those, like, those offshoot comedy buddy team movies, maybe, but it would not be the same as Ferris. It wouldn't have the same
No, not at all.
flair. But you could do something. It just, I think there was something about them also going on their adventure.
Yeah. And this is great storytelling too. So right as he's convinced everything will be fine and that we misjudged this parking garage attendant, maybe we're being too harsh on him. In the background,
yes,
like, oh yeah, everything will be fine.
There it is. Just jump in and screech off. Go. Oh, remember these cars? My goodness.
Yeah, the wood paneled station wagons.
Station wagons, yeah. Oh,
9 times.
He could have been caught. Uh-oh. Like the music here too.
Retro Hamlet's Tragedy 89 has entered the chat.
Hi, Hamlet's Tragedy 89. Thanks for joining us today. Hello, Retro. You always pick the greatest films. Oh, thank you.
I love this. 9. Yeah, you see how the system works, the pulley, the trophy.
She's like, let's just double check. Oh boy.
The dummy. It worked. He got mom. He fooled mom.
She came home from work, okay?
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like, he has outsmarted all of these eventualities.
Yeah.
And she's content. She's reassured.
Yes, her little boy is truly not deceiving her.
He's such a sweetheart. He is genuinely sick.
Yes. I never noticed that these two guys with these weird caps.
Yeah, like Shriner hats or something.
Yes, what is that all about?
Now, I've been to the top of the Sears Tower numerous times, and now they have there's literally a box that you could step into, and the whole box is glass. So you are standing on glass.
No way.
So it looks like you're just suspended in the sky, and it's unnerving. It gives you vertigo just walking into it.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And of course, now it's the Willis Tower. The Chicago Stock Exchange. I think it's the Chicago Board of Exchange. Let me double check. Yeah, Chicago Board of Exchange. That's where they're at.
Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness, Lance Chafin is in the house. Hello, how are you doing? Oh my goodness, it's been a while. How are you? Hamlet's Tragedy 89 says, my favorite part of this movie is the principal's face when he's talking trash to who he thinks is Ferris and finds out it's not him. Oh, yes, that was a good scene. It just passed.
Oh, this is one of the most classic scenes ever.
Oh, yes.
You are Abe Froman, the sausage king of Chicago. That's me. And dude, they couldn't have cast a better guy for this.
It's like, who is that?
He's got like a little bit of that 80s mullet going on.
Yeah.
You could sure as hell try. He's obviously not in his element here. He gives him like $1. You talk about cultural relevance. Everybody has heard the name Abe Froman, and everyone knows that Abe Froman is the sausage king of Chicago. Everybody, doesn't matter. You can go anywhere in the country. Are you suggesting that I'm not who I say I am? Snooty. It's funny. I remember the first time I saw this, I was like, oh man, you are pushing it, man.
Yeah.
I'll call him myself. Okay, Abe.
Oh.
I yell rat. I love how these two are not really on board with this.
Can we just
They're
go
definitely
somewhere
wanting to get out of there. I love it. I love this fourth wall break. There have been times in my life this moment has crossed my mind. If I am going to get busted, it is not going to be from someone like that.
else?
I have had this moment multiple times in my life. Describe him. They were really good with their phone usage to deceive people in this.
Yeah.
And that's good too, that he's got a clue of what's going on. He just doesn't understand it. He doesn't put it all together.
Sergeant Peterson.
This is Sergeant Peterson. And it's great because we know the accent. We don't need to know anything more except hear who the accent is.
Yes.
I love this line. It's understanding that makes it possible for people like me to tolerate people like yourself. I love that condescending comment. Retro Lance Chafin says he's doing all right. He wants to know how you're doing.
Good. I am doing really, really well. Yep, hanging in there, you know. Hanging in there.
Oh yeah, this is another scene where I thought I just found Cameron bizarre in a second. He pulls a funny face here.
Mhm.
And I like this scene. This is interesting. They're closing in on her like this. This is a pretty advanced camera effort for what is technically a secondary character.
Yeah.
What makes him so special? Screw him.
Look at the attendant.
Yeah, they didn't really have these. I remember for years, even up until maybe the 2000s, you'd find bathroom attendants, and I don't see them anywhere anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I do remember that going into places, there'd be a bathroom attendant here and there.
Yeah, I remember them, but it's been a while. I haven't been.
Yeah, this is interesting too. He's giving us his assessment of Cameron with
Yes.
this intercut of a apparently very carefree Cameron eating and acting a little goofy here. The Blues Brothers had a similar scenario where you're in a nice
Yes.
restaurant and you're kind of disruptive.
Yeah.
It is so choice. I love how he highly recommends picking up a Ferrari 250.
Yeah.
Like that, like it's just an option if you want it.
His dad. Look, his dad is right
Yeah.
there. So great.
His dad is like all around him the whole movie. And these two start sparring right away. Can I help you? I doubt it. She's got such an attitude. Nice attitude. Oh man. See, this movie spends a little time with their side characters here. I love it. What a little
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, everyone gets their upper hand moment. Nobody is like always the dunce. Rooney is the closest, but he gets his moments.
Yeah.
I read a great article with that exact shot in the cover of the article talking about how marketers should pay attention to Generation X as a demographic. They said that Generation X, while they may be quiet, is one of the most influential groups of people in selling other products or films or everything else. He says that the entire article talked about how Gen X influences both baby boomers and millennials on the things they like in pop culture. And I found that fascinating.
Yeah. Well, and they were just saying too, the buying power. A lot of these, Gen Xers grew up in the latter part of the Reagan era, and a lot of them were have some money in their pockets. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
Now my mom had a car like that. That's a Chrysler Reliant, and my mom had one of those. I love it. This is his Dirty Harry moment, right? Ding.
More like Pink Panther.
Yeah. Well, she likened him to Dirty Harry, and it's obviously gone right to his head.
Yeah.
By the way, I live in Austin now.
Mhm.
When I see a restaurant like this, my heart breaks. I cannot get good pizza in Austin. In Chicago, I can get great pizza in so many places, in so many neighborhoods. And this is where the kind of place you would find great pizza.
That smile.
It's so funny because even as a kid, this isn't Ferris.
Yeah. Game is up.
The game is up. I gotcha, Ferris.
Wow.
And I always thought she looked a little bit like Princess Leia as a kid.
Oh yeah. She does look like Princess Leia.
I love how she's like, you deserve this, right? He just waits for it. So strike one, Edward. And there's my cubbies. My kids, this is the line that my kids, I think, remember the most in this movie. What's the score? 0-0. Who's winning? The Bears. My kids have like repeated this line multiple times. I love it.
It was right on television. You missed it.
Yeah. He just misses it too. What's the score? Nothing. The Bears. That must be where the Saturday Night Live skits came from. The Bears. And I do love me some Wrigley Field baseball. Been there hundreds of times. I don't know how many times, but a lot. Honestly, like this looks like fun to me. Like I would.
It does look like they're having fun,
right? Wrigley Field. Swing, bada.
And Sloan is like, what is she doing? She's like doing homework or something.
Yeah, she's not into this. Whatever.
She's like, poetry. She's writing poetry. Oh, and Rick mentioned the losing at Pac-Man sound.
So this is great. We're activating another secondary character who has now made it a new crusade to go bust Ferris. So you have two people out to bust Ferris.
Yeah.
And I love how he parks in front of the fire hydrant.
Oh, you're not supposed to do that.
Nope. And honestly, you should know better.
Yeah. But look at this house, though, that these guys live in.
Very affluent.
Two-family household. Yeah.
A lot of John Hughes movies have houses like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like upper middle class really is.
Well, it was the benefit of having a two-income family in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my family had two incomes, but we didn't live in a house like that, I'll tell you that. We had a tiny little house in Berwyn, Illinois, which is a western suburb of Chicago, just north of Cicero. Hello? I love that. I love how he anticipates Rooney's line of questions. Thank you for stopping by. See, I will say this. When I was watching this, I actually came to the conclusion that this story is told out of order. He should have gone to the house first and then downtown Chicago. It doesn't make any sense to have gone downtown and then back to the suburbs. But anyway, it works. It still works because he really decides to lay siege to this house. That's his decision.
Yeah, because if he does it earlier, then he may be successful.
Yeah.
So I think he was trying to anticipate going to a place where kids were most likely to go.
Like an arcade, yeah.
Yeah, if they were gonna.
But what's really hysterical is if you live in Chicago, like there are billions of places that a kid could go. So, the likelihood that he thinks he's going to find them and it's so low, Oh boy, this is a losing battle for this man.
Ew.
I mean, this is like borderline Wile E. Coyote level strategy.
He loses his shoe in there. I mean, that would be my first priority is get the shoe out. Oh boy.
Oh, he makes it worse.
Oh, it's just sludge now.
That shoe is toast.
It's the beginning of the end.
Yep, you should have got a clue right here that this wasn't going to be a good idea.
Yeah, just oh my goodness, he's ripping his pants.
That's so funny. It's amazing how when you put your mind to it, how easily you can make someone look terrible in a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yay!
Oh man. Star Wars music. These guys are so happy.
It's so weird. Like, why did they pick Star Wars music for this particular
Well, Star
moment?
Wars. Well, what's funny is Star Wars has become like epically cultural now, but back then it was new still. It wasn't that old.
Yeah.
But even then they knew that this was a reference everybody would get.
Yeah, it is a reference everybody would get, but it's still like a wild thing for them to just throw that right in the middle of
Yeah.
the story. Oh my goodness, that ripped pants thing is just hilarious.
Oh man, he's about
Oh
to get
yes, this is the part. See, you. Oh,
I mean, and that's not just like that's not a Labrador. That's a Rottweiler.
oh my God.
I like how he tries smiling at it. He's like, "You making fun of me, bro?"
man.
Stay.
Oh
You are in trouble, buddy.
oh my goodness.
I love it. Again, that's cartoon-like because there's no way he could
Yeah.
go back and forth that quick, so they cut it.
Yeah.
Now, this is where I believe we get a moment of poignancy in this film. There is something about watching a young generation experience art for the first time, and for whatever reason, amazingly, they capture that in this little sequence here.
Yeah, I love it. So
And the music is beautiful. I love this music. These are all famous paintings. I've seen all of them. I've been to the Art Institute many times. You know, that's Picasso off to the right, Man and Guitar. I don't know that one, but that is wonderful music.
oh, Rick says Star
Jackson
Wars
Pollock.
using Star Wars was like flying in a spaceship to those parking attendants. Okay, I
100%.
gotcha.
Yeah, and this music
So
strikes, I
good.
think, the exact tone the director was going for here. And these are just great scenes. To me, these are
Oh, they are.
classic.
Yeah,
Look at that. They're all experiencing art. It's confrontational art, right?
yeah,
You face it, it faces you, and then you just react. And
yeah.
everyone is different. Everyone experiences art differently. And they're advancing the story. There's the romance between Ferris Bueller and Simone. And Cameron is having a strange, he's identifying oddly with this little girl in this painting. And I've always wondered what it is that he's identifying with and what he's experiencing. And my thought was the strange facelessness of this little girl. He's pouring
Yes.
himself into it.
Yeah.
And I remember being at the Art Institute. This is called stippling. It's a type of art where the entire piece of art is done with little dots
Yes.
from the artist.
Yes. Very great art. I've done a couple of pieces like that. A lot of fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The other thing about the art is that it is part of the experience of look around. There's life to be lived, you know, that the whole concept of live a little. You know,
Live
that
a
is
little,
sort of
and
like,
also that there's beautiful things out there.
look
You know,
around, just like
art.
that statement that he says at the end of, you know, life moves fast. If you don't look around, you can miss it. And art is part of that.
Yeah. Oh, this is the face that I think Cameron, I thought he was so weird here. He pulls the weirdest face. I like how Ferris looks at us like for appeal. Like, are you believing this? We went to a museum. We ate pancreas. Like, that to me is such a bizarre face. It bothered me as a kid.
He's trying to tell him that somebody's behind them.
Oh, no, I know.
It's so great.
I mean, it just looks so weird. He's kind of creepy. And I love how he's completely busted there. And I love how Simone decides to flirt with the dad, like, overtly.
That's That's why I think that they're so well matched. She's a prankster too. I love her.
Yeah, community rallies around sick youth. He's
Yeah.
already in the headlines. Oh man, that's good stuff. And I love what she said there. She's like, he's licking the glass and like just
Yeah,
a ridiculous image.
oh, that dog, man. Woo.
Yeah, you don't want to
You
mess
don't
with
wanna-
Rottweilers.
No.
They're an aggressive breed. And I always thought this was interesting. Let me ask everybody this. I've always wondered that. Did anyone else out there ever get a sense that Simone kind of found Cameron intriguing or attractive in some level? Did anyone else think that? Or is that just me?
Oh, do you mean Sloane, this girl here?
Yeah, I keep saying Simone. Sloan, yeah. Do you think that she had any attraction to him?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I always wondered that too.
She doesn't, I think she's like actually practical and smart. She's like, because he says, let's get married. And she's like, no. She's a little smart.
Yeah.
She,
This is great. I honestly, as a young boy, I loved Ferris Bueller taking over the city here.
oh yeah.
Like right now, this is ridiculous, right? He's singing some song in German.
Yeah.
Dankeschön.
And he's like flirting with all the girls.
Yeah,
Really
the slug on the cheek, like you're a chip off the old block kind of thing. And all the women love him here. So it's, and the fact that you could just do this, right? That you could just hop up on this thing, take over the cart. Just insanity.
Yeah. I love it.
She's definitely sympathizing with him here.
Yeah. Oh, are you saying that you think if that Sloane had some feelings for Cameron?
Yeah, that she finds him somewhat interesting. That
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because there's even that comment she says later. She's like, "Did you see me when I took off my bathing suit?" And he's like, "Yeah, I kind of did." She's like, "That's okay, I don't mind." Just weird little things that I would find otherwise strange in the script.
Yeah.
They're, you're crazy.
I always thought like he had two boyfriends, in the story.
Yeah.
And it was almost like they were all dating, kind of, because it's kind of a weird triangle. But they were like really great friends. But there was also something else that she really does kind of nurtures him later on a little bit more than just a friend, I think.
Yeah, she's obviously into Ferris, obviously, but
Yeah.
I just always got a sense that she was also a little into Cameron.
I think she felt bad for him.
That for sure.
Yeah.
That guy.
I
This
think
is great.
everybody wants to help him.
Yeah, this is great too, because he really fires up this crowd. And the filmmaker does such a good job of capturing the crescendoing energy levels.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic. I fell in love with this song because of this movie. And that reminds me of the Blues Brothers. Remember in the church, they had in the Blues Brothers, those guys were like flipping way high in the air. Retro.
Yeah.
I felt like they did some of that here as well.
Yeah, they did one moment there like that.
But also some of the dance sequences. I don't know. There's a lot of Blues Brothers sense in their musical numbers here.
That is like right behind, it's like right there.
I like how his dad, yeah, does this little dance here.
He's got such a cool like dad. He's like really like
Yeah, that blonde, she's feeling it, man. I like her.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean that crowd is fired up. It must have been a blast to film this. Yeah,
Oh, that looks like so much fun. Woo!
totally.
I wonder how many times
He
they
falls.
did
Doesn't he
this.
fall back? Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how many times they did this because it looks like they did it. They may have done it a couple of times.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple thousand people out there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I would love to, I should look into that, how they filmed that scene, but it's all real. All the flowers that are getting sent.
He's so weird. Yeah, you just take somebody's flowers and stuff. He's still like circling that place. I would have given up after the the hose thing. The hose event, I would have been like, okay, bye.
Yeah, right on, Mark D with the C. No CGI extras. That's why it looks so authentic. That's why the energy that
Ah,
you feel in that
yes,
scene is so contagious.
yes,
Even now, 40 years later or whatever it is, it's contagious because it's real human energy there on those streets.
yeah,
And I don't like anyone who knocks out a dog. I don't
yeah,
care if it is a Rottweiler.
yeah.
This is such a bizarre intersection of missions here.
Yeah.
I know it. She's so pissed. Now look at this. She like slams the door like multiple times, or maybe that's later. What do we have here? The door is open. And honestly, who the hell walks into a house?
Oh man, he's just
She
crossing
has such
so
an
many.
attitude with everyone she talks to, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a scene coming up where she hangs up the phone and she like holds and smashes it together for a second. I love it. I love the female rage.
Let's see if where I'm at and where you're at. Okay.
She's walking down the stairs.
Okay, yes. I'm gonna just pause mine for a second to catch so you can catch up.
This is pretty funny how they both think they're about to get Ferris.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've caught up.
Yeah, Mark D with the C. That's what I thought. He
What
thinks
did he
Ferris is
say?
around the corner. She thinks
She
Ferris
thinks
is
the
around the
Ferris is around
corner.
the corner. Yeah.
Ha! Man, she kicks him 3 times in about 1 second. It's great.
She's like totally freaked out. I like when she got up the stairs, she's like, "Ah!"
Yeah. Well, and I love the editing. As she's sprinting up the stairs, he's like slowly like unwinding as he passes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those kicks were great, right, Rick?
Yeah.
My kids love that too. Boom, boom, boom. And in the background, I love it.
Yeah.
You're a very generous individual. I love this guy. So we're about to move into the crisis mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hamlet, I agree. A girl kicks you in the face 3 times. You got to get out of there.
Yes, and Hamlet said, I would definitely have retreated after the face kick. Yeah.
No shame in it. It's
Yeah.
time to go.
Yeah. I would have retreated after the hose. I'm like, okay, well, that's my sign.
I like it. My name is Bueller. Look, it's real nice. You hope my brother's feeling better. I'm very cute. I'm very alone and very protective of my body. I love her slamming this phone. She is so angry here. She just doesn't even know what to do with herself. She's so angry.
Oh man, they're taking his car.
Ed, it's not looking good, buddy.
Yeah,
You're
I mean,
not
you're
looking
in
good.
somebody's kitchen using their sink.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's like, and I also have herpes. In a scorching case.
It's like, oh my God, he's a mess.
He's a disaster.
His wallet just fell out.
Ed, you have to know when you're defeated.
Yeah, and the car takes off with the keys. Ah.
And the limp just adds something extra there, right?
Man.
And this is awful because Cameron's just starting to feel good about this, right?
Yes.
I did have fun today. And you're like, oh, wow, that's good. He's changing his mind. And Ferris is starting to put 2 and 2 together here on the mileage. Carry the 3. How many miles? 126. Why?
Oh, Cameron. Don't look, Cameron.
Yikes, that's a lot of miles.
Those boys took it for a nice ride. That's why you could do a movie on it.
I mean, they must have gone up to Wisconsin. They must have went up to Milwaukee or something. Oh, the epic scream. Cameron again. He's just like, he's so over the top. I kind of love it, but as a kid, I always was off put by him. He's just so bizarre. I'm sorry. I can't come to the door right now. I could take a nasty spill. My parents were so mad that this was in there. Because it's and you know what makes this the best is that dirtbag dude behind her.
Oh, there's what's his name? Louis Anderson. Did you see Louis Anderson?
No, was that Louis Anderson?
Yeah, he was right on the side there.
Oh my Lord, I never knew that.
Microchip.
Yeah, the singing telegram. Yeah, I love how he goes into this long assessment of Cameron's prospects in the future.
Yeah. I mean, this is some really heavy lifting, as you know, acting wise from Matthew Broderick, having to really like do all of these incredible monologues.
Well, and it's not an unreasonable take, right? That Cameron's going to have trouble with relationships. I mean, he's trying to analyze him.
Yeah. And
into the future here.
Yeah. Yeah, Cameron.
And while and no, he doesn't. She's the only one who's like tending to him, and Ferris is off telling us about Cameron's future. He's going to marry the first girl he sleeps with, basically.
Yeah.
She won't respect him. Yeah, at this age, boys are thinking, are wondering, what. I mean, this is a deep line of thought for, I think, a boy at this age or a
Oh,
young man.
yeah. He's incredibly thoughtful.
Nice product placement by Pepsi.
And Oreo cookies.
And Oreo cookies. We had 7 Up earlier. I mean, he's just completely despondent.
Yeah.
And now, again, from a storytelling standpoint, this is baptismal. Usually, water like this is a renewal suggestion, and that's exactly what this is.
Look at him looking up to see if they will come get him. Oh man.
This is hysterical because this is like the one time Ferris is very serious and kind of emotionally invested in Cameron. And then Cameron ruins it. Ferris Bueller, you're my hero.
He just wanted to see if anybody cared about him.
But he kind of one-ups Ferris. It's almost like a prank. So he kind of gets
Yeah.
the best of him here.
Yeah.
Look at that smile.
I gotcha.
That's a great smile. Even she's a little perturbed. And then he gets mad at her. That looks like fun.
Yeah. Oh man.
I love this whole sequence here with her. This is one of the most fascinating character confrontations with reality and character change.
Oh man.
He says drugs 3 times and each one means something slightly different. Drugs. Kimberly Ann Hart is here.
Oh, hey,
Thank
Kimberly
you
Ann
for-
Hart. So good to see you.
Yes. She is not. But so, she has been so enraged and defiant. You just get a sense that this guy's like walking on thin ice. So it's amazing that there's the role reversal here.
Just
Charlie, what are you doing? Winning. Yeah, it's funny. She opens up to him here. In a nutshell, I hate my brother. That's cool. She really gets humanized here. Like she really comes off her high horse, her anger and rage, and she just kind of is pretty down to earth here, right?
Yeah.
And then he pokes the bear by being like, what do you care about your brother? You know, like, why are you so worried about it? I mean, this is incredible insight out of this character. And the problem is you. So this is why Ferris Bueller is a coming of age story on multiple levels.
Oh yeah.
Because even it doesn't matter who you are when you watch this, there's some part of your mind that's really listening to him right now. And you're like,
Yes.
am I, have I ever been her? You know, like, am I the problem? You know?
Yeah.
That moment of self-reflection, they're so important in life. I'm just someone you should talk to. I love it. His dialogue is pretty sophisticated. Oh, you know him. That's like the perfect thing he could say without actually saying it. And it's such a high school kid plan to think that if you go in reverse, the miles come off.
Yes. Like, it doesn't work that way.
But here's where they're kind of having their a little face to face here, right? We're digging, we're drilling down into Cameron here. Yeah. Like you could tell he's ready for change. He's primed
Oh,
for
yeah.
change. I had the best day of my life. Like when I was watching this, I had the last time I watched it, I had a glass of wine, so I was just, and I felt emotional listening to Cameron, when he confessed it was the best day of his life because he's
Yeah.
so resistant to this. Yeah, so right here, I don't know why this would be in the script, except as a little, throwing him a bone a little bit, like admitting she kind of is like she maybe like kind of likes him a little bit.
Well, I thought it was more like he was being like, he was putting on this it was more like a playful thing that he was pretending to be comatose, but he was actually fully aware of everything.
Well, if she took off her bathing suit and I'm under a pool, I'm paying attention. You got to be vigilant in these pools. Okay, this is some crazy stuff here, and
Yeah.
I actually love the film work here. As the car falls back, there's a shot from a camera where the camera shoots back with Cameron centered in the middle, and for some reason, I just think that single camera shot sells the whole moment. Because he looks genuinely shocked. He's like,
Yeah.
"What?" Like, "Oh my god!" And because it's shocking. And then this thing goes through the window, and it's, I mean, unbelievable. You've got everyone's attention. And here we go. Cameron is about to experience that precious thing in stories called change. It's why we watch.
Mhm.
My old man pushes me, and man, you feel it.
Yeah.
And I actually love Ferris and Slump. They're completely silent.
Yeah, they're letting him do his thing, which is
Yes.
getting it off his chest. They can't do this for him. He has to do it for himself.
Correct.
But they can,
I'm going to defend it. And it's great because the story, he's basically ready to stand up for himself. And then the story just ups the ante, right? He damages the car and he thinks that he's made his point there. And honestly, this is emotion that is very resonating. It's hard to watch this and not feel his frustrations.
yeah, yeah.
You're about to go too far.
Sloan
Who do
is
you
like,
love?
oh
You love a
no, they're
car.
ruining that beautiful car.
But his comment, who do you love? You love a car. Like that says it all.
Yeah, he feels like his dad spends more time on his love of cars than he does on, you know, his own son.
And they've set that up throughout the film. There's a bunch of little
Mhm.
comments he makes too.
Yeah. And the fact that his car is like really run down.
And I love this. I love this here because the camera work is very quick and rapid and different types, and it's just perfect. I'm just tired of being afraid.
Yeah. Aw.
Right on, brother. We all know how you feel.
And lean on it,
Here
and
we go.
then wow. Oh,
Oh, man.
totaled. Oh,
Woo!
man.
I love this. I love the shot as well as the camera approaches Ferris and Sloane, and they kind of look over their shoulders at him like, yeah, because in teenage world,
Hmm.
this is too much. You've gone
This
way
is
too far. You destroy a Ferrari like this.
Well, it was really funny because when I watched this for the first time, I was like, "Oh my god, they've taken this movie to another place." But then it's
Yeah,
actually not. It is, but it isn't as. It's just something that he has to deal with his father, but it doesn't. It wasn't like
right.
somebody died.
But yeah, but what I'm saying is, from a teenager mentality,
Yeah, this is
you have
huge.
entered the stratosphere in terms
Yeah,
of consequences.
because when it happened, we were, pretty much everybody was like, "Ooh, he's in
It's one
trouble."
thing to play hooky, it's one thing to dodge the principal, but you put a Ferrari out a window 3 stories down, you're in a new world. You
Yeah,
have entered a special detention hall.
yeah.
His reaction is great here. He's like, "What?" He laughs for a second. And I actually like this too. Ferris offers to take the heat, and he rejects that. I think this is why they cast him for this role.
Yeah.
He carries the gravitas here. Where he's like,
Yes,
no,
he does. Yeah, he does. He
I love this. I could have stopped you. He's like,
he was like, "What? You
you
think
think
you
you could
could
have
stop
stopped me?
me?"
But it's
And then
ownership.
the music,
Yes.
it gives
Yep.
you a sense that, oh, things are going to be better.
Yeah. Yep.
It
Well, but
helps
he's
to
taking
reinforce that.
ownership. He's taking ownership of his life, and that's such an
Yeah.
important lesson. And I feel like that's what makes generation. That's one thing that Generation X really brought into their stories and their value set was the sense of independence and ownership of your life. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's in there. It's in these movies, and I really, really appreciate it. You tell them that all the guys at the station are pulling for him. I
Yeah.
love it.
Oh, she's making out in the back. Ah,
Yeah. I love it, Ferris. And she's such like a busted daughter here too. She's like defiant in a weird way.
yeah.
Don't high me, young lady. Okay. Such a great mom-daughter face-off there.
I love it.
And she is smitten through here, man. She is cracks me up. Shauna.
She's
Yeah,
so
she's
cute.
giddy. She's a little giddy here. And as a guy, he plays it exactly right. He doesn't react to it. You just hold your ground.
Aw.
Shauna. And now we move into resolution mode where we have to get Ferris home, right?
Yeah, we gotta get him home. Yes. We get that sense that he's gonna be just fine.
Well, and I think this is
Yes, she was right. See, I knew that she figured him out. That was the whole plan of this Ferris days, Bueller's Day Off is getting Cameron back on track or on track at all. Because you get the sense that he's not going to be pretending that he's sick or feeling sick or whatever.
yeah,
He's
that he'll be okay.
healthy and strong. Yeah.
Well, and what's interesting about these two is they float the idea of marriage a couple times in a couple different scenes, and I think it's interesting because it forces you, if you're a teenage young man or even maybe a girl as well, the idea of relationships as an adult,
Yeah.
not as just dating teenagers, but this idea of an adult level relationship. And so I did appreciate that in retrospect, watching this as an older person.
Yeah.
And now, honestly, this is just hysterical.
That's great. I love it. Oh, there we go.
I mean,
Ah!
I love it. The showdown is on.
Woo! Yes.
You can almost hear like the good, the bad, and the ugly music. Run,
I love
Ferris! Oh, she is hauling ass.
I love
The
this
scene
part
that always
so much.
cracks me up is when the mother's like, slow down, and she's just yelling back hysterically, like not even making any point. Right here. Oh my Lord, it's just insane. Now the cops are involved.
Mm.
I like when there's the two sunbathing women and he goes back for them. Hey, I'm Ferris. How you
Hey. Yes.
doing? Yeah, right here. Like, whoa, 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 not so fast.
The best. This music was really cool too.
Ba, ba,
Oh,
ba,
Keith
ba.
E says, I like the music in this last section. Me too.
Totally.
Yeah.
Ba, ba,
There's
ba,
this
ba.
one and then the music at the closing as well too.
Yeah, the swivel heads.
Yeah, like, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There's like some really unique music in this movie.
Now, I think this is called Dance of the Swivel Heads. Let me see if that's right.
Let's see. March of the Swivel Heads by the English
That's
Beat.
it. That's
the
it.
The English Beat.
Yes. March
I
of
like this lady with the hair.
And they even played a cartoon sound of him like skidding off to the side.
Dad is so funny.
This is hysterical to me. His dad just pulls right up alongside him. They make eye contact. Or not, I guess. They see each other.
Yeah. He's like, that's a young boy that looks just like Ferris.
And he goes, this is breaking and entering. He goes through this
Yeah.
guy's house. He's like, nah. And this is so frustrating. This
Isn't
is
it
like,
great?
with the change in speeds, he goes that speed.
Yeah.
His sister gets this speed.
Yeah. So good.
What's up, Sherry Lee? Welcome aboard.
Oh, hi, Sherry Lee. It's been a while. This is one of my favorite Chicago movies.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
This is great. I've got you, Ferris.
I love the look on his face.
Ferris is so busted here. Rooney feels like he's right. He's finally, after all this, he is going to get his victory.
And she waits to the very last moment.
She savors the moment, right?
Yeah. Yeah. She's
To
like,
champion her
yeah.
old self from the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
And then she's gone through her own change. And I love that. Under my personal supervision. And she even comes up with the lie for him. Love it. She winks at him.
It's like,
Rooney, get into bed. Scoot. He looks at us like, can you believe this?
Mhm. Oh, the dog's awake.
Oh boy.
He's like, he actually makes the sound, yow.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Some of it's cartoon like, and it works
Oh,
in
it's
this
great.
film.
Yeah.
Look at all the people that sent him flowers.
So crazy.
And this is great. The foul ball from Wrigley Field even gets a character arc in this. It has a role to play.
Yes. Yeah. Oh no, you're busted.
Whoops, you left the thing
Oh,
on.
oh, Ferris. Perfect pitch.
The foul ball.
It lands right in the glove. That's so awesome.
Yep, I love it.
Look at him.
I like how he wakes up like he's dazed. He doesn't know where he is. 150 cents per better. He's still doing like the little kiddish thing.
Yeah.
I want to go to school. I want to learn. Maybe you're right, Glenn. Maybe I am pushing it too hard. Oh, he's got this perfected.
He's so silly.
Yeah. How'd you get so sweet? Years of practice.
Oh man, it gets me every time.
Mm.
Woo!
He's like, oh, the relief.
There we go.
Life moves pretty fast. And if you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
You could miss it.
The
Yeah.
wisdom of Ferris Bueller. Not bad.
Yeah. So I usually would turn off the
Right.
the credits by now, but this is like one of the best end credits that you could ever watch.
And they really draw it out. And there's something like dreamlike. There's like a dreamlike quality to the slow pace and the awkward social scenario and the warm gummy bear. Like all of it's so weird. The girl with the Coke bottle glasses. I love it. I do love this end sequence.
And then the music as well is just so classic.
Boom, 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 boom.
He's like, we'll see. Okay.
Okay, he's like, I know I want this ride.
Yeah, I
There's
need
no
this
way he
ride.
wants to hoof it.
Yeah. Ew.
Tries to make himself presentable.
He went
He's
through
such
a
a
lot.
disaster.
Yeah, he went through a lot today.
To come up empty. You failed, buddy.
Yeah. He's too tall for the bus. They're like, "What is going on?"
I mean, a boatload of kids probably from his high school.
Yeah. They're like, "The principal? What is he doing out
And
there?"
just
And it looks
look at
terrible.
they're taking up a lot of time with this footage. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. They're all like
They're really
shocked.
settling you into this bizarre it's bizarre for the kids too. They're like, "What do we do with this guy? Like, what do we say to him?" The only open seat. She's got the sniffles, like all these weird details they're including.
Yeah.
They even gave her a line of dialogue, a couple
Oh,
lines. It's
yeah, yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. Those glasses are intense.
Gummy bear. Look at his hair. You are looking at the man at the end of a dream. He
Rooney
rejects the
eats
gummy
it.
bear. Rooney eats it.
Yeah, they know everybody hates him. Save Ferris.
I love everyone's reaction. Save Ferris, yeah. He breaks the fourth wall for the first time.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I forgot about this last one.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I was a kid, my sister absolutely loved that they added this. Like
Yeah.
she had never seen it before.
Yeah, it's
What do you
so
it's
unique.
over. Yeah. I mean, basically telling you to get out of the theater.
Yeah,
Go.
if you were in the theater and you saw this, it it would have been really shocking for you to see that.
Yeah,
If
because it was not
if
common.
you yeah, if you stayed around that long, uh,
Like my kids grew up in the age of the MCU, so they expect a teaser now on every trailer, and I'm like, don't expect them all the time. But going further back, this was completely unusual when they did it for Ferris,
yeah,
and I love it.
yeah, and there's still a lot of movies that did, but there were very few and far between that actually did that kind of like end credit scene. So
Well,
it's
and he's
really
breaking the fourth wall, and
yeah, yeah,
he's telling you to leave. Like
yeah.
it's just
Get
kind of
out
a
of
funny.
here.
Woo!
Man. So let's see. We got Mark D with a C says, I would have never guessed how true that line is back when I first saw this movie, 1985. And let's see. And Rick said Amazon forced an ad at the end of the credits start. Oh, so sorry about that. Yeah, my
Ah,
thing that kind of ruins the timing.
they need to
But
rethink that.
yeah, I mean, at the credits, I mean, let it play out. But sometimes what they'll do is that they'll start up your next movie before the credits end as well. And it's
Yeah,
like at least let you watch the credits and you can decide, or hey, you don't want to see the credits. A very important part of the movie is the credits, right?
yeah,
I would
I mean,
say,
100%. But I mean, if
yeah,
they also have part of the film included in the credits, I think if you're a streaming service, you should wait till those are over before you jump
before you
in.
introduce, yeah, I think so. I feel like it's a little bit
Huh.
rude. And Mark DOC says people started going back to the theater when they saw the movie was still going. Oh yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, yeah. You have to go back and see what the rest of it. And let's see. And oh yes, yes. Mark D with a C says that is the closing for his YouTube video. So if you watch his YouTube
Oh,
videos at the end, he puts the little part with Ferris Bueller's Day Off closing credits, that last
oh,
scene,
that's great.
which is really funny. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
And
That's perfect.
isn't it perfect? It's a great way to close things out.
You're
And
still here?
you're still here. um, And Kimberly Ann Hart says, I have to go to a birthday party tonight. Oh, well, have fun. Have fun. And says, this was fun. Thank you so much. Thanks for,
Awesome.
yeah, thank you everybody for being here. Um, Mommy says this was the first Easter egg. Hmm,
Really?
I'm not sure. I think they were doing them before then. Um, Easter eggs is you would just put things that you saw from other movies and in the film. Mark D with a C says no one knew that what the heck was happening at the theater. Yeah, I think because usually when the credits start to roll, people start leaving,
Yeah.
and so you would have to be like some people probably didn't even know that there was that ending until they saw it on cable or on
Oh, yeah.
television. And Kimberly Ann Hart says, I'll see you again with Lorena Creole tonight. Yes, we're going to be watching Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Ooh, nice one.
Oh, let me see if that's the one that we're going to be. I think so. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And
That's
the
a great one.
lady, yeah, and I think the lady, the principal assistant, is going to be in that one too. McClurg. I forgot her first name. Um, but she's going to be in that one too. There's a scene in at the airport that's hilarious that she does, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Movie says Ferris Bueller invented the Easter egg and the credits scene. I don't think so, but um, I don't think it did, but it had. It's one of the most memorable ones. But I think there's some that's earlier. Especially like when you get to like the 60s, they used to pull that stuff all the time. That would be really interesting to look to see when it's the first end credit scene. I don't think it's the first Easter egg though, because Easter eggs are hidden things in a movie that lead to something else, like like something you would find in a comic book or some other pop culture reference. Um, and Keatley says, I've heard that comment compared to in The Graduate when the guy tells Dustin Hoffman to invest in plastics,
Huh.
which ended up being very true. Oh, and Rick says, I love that Cameron's dad looms large over the entire movie. We never see or hear him. Yes, but
That's a great point.
yes, and I do believe the voice that he's imitating, I think, is him pretending to be his dad.
Interesting. Yeah, that is a great point, Rick. Because it's not typical in a movie to never see a character. And
Yes,
yet they're like, even in Lord of the Rings, Sauron, they give him the whole prologue. He has the eye. They do something. But this one, we never get a glimpse of this guy, but he is absolutely lording over Cameron's
yes,
psyche.
yes. And Sunbread says, I always am last to leave an empty movie theater. Yeah, I like staying for the end credits, because you never know. And sometimes the music's really nice and soothing. And let's see. And Kimberly Ann Hart says Steve Martin is in Planes, Trains, and
Oh yeah, John
Automobiles.
Candy,
And
Steve Martin. That's a
yeah,
classic. Those aren't pillows.
Those are pillows.
Where's your
That's
other
funny.
hand?
And Sunbird says, Retro gonna see a film Bonhoeffer
Bonhoeffer.
tomorrow with my bestie, Bill in Santa Barbara. Sounds great. Oh, I haven't heard of this one, Bonhoeffer. I have to check out the trailer for that one. Have
I've
fun,
seen,
enjoy yourself.
I've seen a couple surprisingly or unexpectedly good films lately. One was Strange Darling. I don't know if anyone has seen that. If you
No.
haven't, go check it out. It's a wild ride and completely unexpected, very hard to predict. And then The Substance with Demi Moore, very
I heard
artsy,
about that. Yeah.
very insane, over the top, a new experience, even with body horror. I don't know. I've seen a couple of movies that are reminding me of older style films where they're taking some
Oh,
chances
good.
and bringing some originality back. And I am really enjoying that.
Oh, good. Maybe 2024 will be maybe 2025 will be like the new 1985.
That would be outstanding. Well, there's
Oh, yeah.
there's evidence of it. Whether it happens is something else, but
Yeah.
very intriguing.
And Kimberly says, okay, using risk communication device and teleports to the command center. All right. And
Beam her up.
Bowfinger was a worldwide evangelist and spy during World War II. Oh, didn't know that. Yeah, have fun watching the movie Tomorrow with Bill. And he died 10 years ago.
Interesting. Bonhoeffer, a pacifist. Interesting. 2024. I'll have to check it out, Stunt Brat.
And Rick says another hometown claim was the Northbrook water tower that had saved Ferris painted on it. It seemed to be there for almost a year before we found out it was for a movie. Oh, really? I had no
Rick,
idea
so
what
you're
it
from,
meant.
I grew up in Chicago and the west suburbs. I was in Berwyn, Cicero area, and then we ended up moving to Park Ridge. So, Northbrook, like all that, like I said, very familiar. So that's awesome. What suburb were you in? Were you in Northbrook? Just out of curiosity.
Okay.
Anyway, that's really cool.
Yeah. Imagine seeing that and you're like, who's Ferris? And then the movie comes
Northbrook.
out.
Yeah, so like Wayne's World. Remember when they're driving in the car and you see some weird like artwork? Like those are in Berwyn. There's like this garbage statue, and then there's these like cars skewered on a pole. There's cars stacked on a pole.
I don't remember that movie.
That's in Wayne's World, and that was in
Yeah.
Berwyn. That was in my hometown.
Like I remember the movie, but I don't remember that detail.
Yeah, it's there. They pass by it when they're in the car. It's very.
Oh, okay.
Once you see it, you'll see it.
Okay. The next time I watch it, I'll be like, oh. Let me see. Someone says you can find Bonhoeffer's huge meetings online. Okay. And Rick is acknowledging the car stack.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's that place. It was the Harlem Cermak Plaza. It was a strip mall, and whoever owned it had this weird predilection for this like junk art. It's really weird. There was an entire statue of the United States in shape, made out of garbage, held together by concrete. The weirdest thing in the world.
That's wild.
Very weird. And then on the other side was the car shish kebab. And there was another one where he had a car that was like folded out on a wall, like as if it was dissected. I don't know. Weird stuff in that strip mall.
Oh, my.
Oh, my mom says it's gone now. Thank God.
Oh, it's finally gone now. Yeah.
Okay.
So where did they put it?
Who knows?
Interesting. I mean, it sounds like it was an art piece, so they have to put it somewhere. I can't get rid of them.
I'm not sure. It was weird. It was weird for the 80s. They're like, what are we doing? Why is he putting this up? But it made it into Wayne's World, so
Well, Before we get going here, any last minute or last words that you'd like to leave for this movie?
Just that I think Ferris Bueller's Day Off is a flagship style film for Generation X. I think that it not only tries to capture the generation as it was
Mhm,
in the
mhm.
80s, I think that the messaging inside of it is very much a product of the generation as well. Self reliance, accountability, taking ownership of your life. These things possibly are values that we're losing a little bit of today. And so when I see them so front and center in a film, I'm surprised
Mm,
and reassured. So I always thought of Ferris Bueller as a silly, anti-authority type of comedy, which it is, but it's got all these other things in there which I had not seen till I got older. And now I think it's a complete movie, and I think it'll continue to age well.
okay. Um, let's see. For me, yeah, I agree with everything you've said, and uh, you know, it's really, it's not my like favorite movie of all time, but it is among the favorites because of how good it is.
Yeah,
It's definitely like if somebody says, hey, we're gonna watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I want to be invited. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, it's gonna be a
100%.
good time. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna have fun, and it definitely harkens back to the time, or makes me harken back to the time when I was a kid. And I mean, it wasn't that I was in high school. I was about their age, and it I felt like this was a story for me in a way, for my age group.
Yeah,
um, it it works on that level. You can see it if you're younger, you can see it if you're older, it's still gonna be interesting, but I was in school at that I was 15 or 16, and so all of these, like, new things, like, okay, what are you gonna do for college? What all those ideas of what your life is gonna be like, and, the same concerns of a lot of the kids in the story were a lot of my concerns too. So there was a
right,
very strong connective tissue there. The life lessons, or sort of like the teachings that are in the movie, are really special about, you know just um the idea of treasuring life, and experiencing
yeah,
life, and not being trapped by your own fear, your own um, thoughts of other people maybe who have impressive ideas about what they want you to do, whether it be
right,
from in your own family or outsource, that that it was something that you personally had to take care of too. It wasn't something that people could help you, but
right.
you had to do this. You had to do, like, Cameron could get the nudge, but he had to be the one to say, "I'm not gonna um, deal with this anymore. This thing that's paralyzing me. I have to stand up and be a man."
Yeah,
And it's beautiful, uh, to see him
agreed.
go through that, but also it's something where you ask some questions like, "Oh, am I allowing my thoughts or the outside world to impress upon me things I don't want it to? Am I living my life the way I really should and ought to, the way I want to?" And
Right.
so that was something very interesting. And then I did love the little love story between Sloane and Ferris. I mean, that last line she says, she's like, "Oh, he says that he's gonna marry me." When he said it, she was like, "Yeah, okay." She wasn't really like gonna. She was just playing it off, but it really was working in her mind, like, "Oh, this is a guy who says that he's gonna marry me one day." And so I always thought that was very interesting, and kind of hopeful, the hopeful romantic that kind of resides inside of my little heart. So I was like, oh, that's so cool. He's gonna marry her. She's excited. Um,
Yeah.
and so there were lots of cool things about that movie. Then also all the quotes, all the jokes, the big two musical sections there a lot of music that was going on, but just all the fun that you can have with this movie. Just so much fun. So yeah.
So much fun. And then like the cameos from, Charlie Sheen in there.
Yes,
It's just crazy.
yes. So great. And Louis Anderson, I didn't expect. Um
Louis Anderson, yeah.
yeah, just shows up at the door. And I just wanted to ask you also to before we get going, anything happening in your area or neck of the woods, or what are your plans?
Nothing too crazy. The YouTube channel I had to hit pause on. I Retro knows I edited some videos and they have copyrighted material in them. So now I'm back to square one there. So I kind of have to hit reset, and this weekend I can do some work on it. But in the meantime, I think I'm settling in a little bit for the holidays. I'll be on Retro's channel here and there. Heath's channel, we're talking about Arcane season 2, which has been a little bit more of a mixed bag, I would say, than the first season, but still showing some signs of excellence. In fact, I think Act 3 comes out today. So, anyway, a few YouTube appearances, and that's it for now. Just working hard otherwise.
Now, I am going to post your YouTube channel let me put it in the chat, just so that way anybody wants to be there for Doug's first official outing when he launches his YouTube attack.
We will get there. It's just it's not like it used to be where you would just post things and get started. Now you have to know a lot of stuff up front just to post a video about what you can and can't do. So I'll figure it out. We'll get it going.
Well, just so that way everyone will know, if you want to support Doug and want to be there for his launching, go ahead and subscribe to his channel. The link is it will be in the description, but it's also in the chat right now for anyone who would like to be the first to catch his next video. And let's see, for myself, I do have a few things coming up, and Doug might be a part of it. Let's see. So next week, next week we're doing Batman Returns 1992. And Mark D with a C, who has been in the chat today, is going to be joining us for that. I cannot wait because he is very knowledgeable about comics and things like that. So he will be able to give us, just his point of view on a lot of this stuff. This is going to be really awesome. And then on the following week, which is going to be the first week of December 7th, we are going to be watching the Santa Claus 1994. And I do have you down for this, Douglas. Will you be joining us for that one?
I have something did come. My son has a baseball tournament that was not planned or scheduled. It's they call it the Grinch tournament. And a team that is not a different team that he used to play for invited him to play, and he looks up to a lot of these guys, and he's looking forward to playing with them. So it's kind of a new development.
Okay, yes. Okay, so we'll figure out which weeks you'll be able to come. But that's happening on the 7th. And then we'll be in full, what can I say? It will be full holiday season a whole bunch of movies for the holiday season. So we're going to start off with the Santa Claus, 1994, Muppet Christmas Carol, 1992, which I only recently watched last year. It was fantastic. Have you seen that movie?
I have not seen it.
You give it a shot. It's actually
Okay, I
really,
gotta
really
watch it.
good. We've got White Christmas, 1954, and to end out the year, just before New Year's, we're going to be doing Trading Places, 1983. I hope you can join me for that one, at least, Doug. We'll
Which
see
one?
how you're. This is Trading Places,
Oh,
1983.
that I think so. I don't think there's anything interfering with that. The
Okay.
tournament, when I made the plans, I had nothing scheduled. This other thing came up, and it's the we're gonna do it. So
Okay, yeah.
But Trading Places is what weekend?
It's actually going to be on the 28th of December. That's far.
Okay.
Yeah, that's far out. But if anything happens, we can figure that out
Okay.
later. But I have some really great stuff coming for watch parties in 2025. I'm putting together the list now, and it's really it's just like blowing my mind. I'm like, you think you could do this? So we'll see. Well, we're gonna try. I've
All
got
right.
it's something to look forward to. But before then, I also will be doing a couple of holiday streams. Of course, we've got Thanksgiving coming up. I'll be streaming that day. These are all going to be chill streams. So, and then I will be doing another one for Christmas Eve night, which will be a lot of fun. And then, of course, New Year's Eve. I did one last year for New Year's Eve, and that was so much fun. So we shall do it again. So that's 3 chilled streams that are going to be happening where we're just going to sit back and chit chat and talk, and maybe there might be a topic, but nothing, nothing totally impressive. We're just celebrating the season. And let's see what is the chat saying? And Rick says, I think this is my first time seeing live, Doug. Nice to hang for a flick, and we'll sub to your stuff. That's so sweet.
Yeah, appreciated. And it was good to have you in the chat. You had a lot to contribute, and I'm glad we saw your brother.
Yes, we did.
Ferris Bueller's. That was awesome.
Yes, that was so awesome. And let's see who else. And Mark D with a C says that he's looking forward to that. Yes, me too. I can't wait because I do love myself some Batman Returns. Just a great movie. Catwoman, she is just incredible. I even like the Penguin in that too.
I gotta rewatch it.
Such good performances from everybody. And let's see. And Stuntred says we should watch Scrooged
with Bill Murray.
Let's see. I think Lorena and I did that last year, and she might do it again this year because she is doing a lot of other ones. But I think this year we may have everything all squared away for holiday stuff. Let's see. And Keithy says, be good, be funny. Oh, thank you. And Rick says, thank you both. And Tim Talk is here. It says, Deadpool origin story. Oh, okay. How are you, Tim Talk? How are you doing? It's been a long time. And yeah, so I think that is going to do it for us today. Guys, this was fantastic. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us in this. It was, when you haven't seen a movie like this in a while, it just brings back all the memories of being, of seeing it for the first time. And so I just remember all the hair gel, from the from the 80s, and me trying to get my hair to look like Sarah's hair is really was not cool. But it, back then it was cool, but now it's like, oh man, all that time I could have been reading a book.
That is great.
All right, guys, I really appreciate you joining us for the watch party, and I'll see you the next time. Take care, everybody.
This was awesome. See you guys later.
Retro Nerd Girl, you are clear for takeoff.
In the neon light she stands, retro girl with nerd commands. Memory lane she takes your hand to the past where good times land. Pixels glow and screens do hum, hear the beat of retro drum. Geeks unite, oh here we come, nerdy world where we're from. Retro logo leads the way, in the night to yesterday. All the nerds come out to play, she's the light, won't go away. Film and movies on rewind, good old days in nerdy mind. Retro nerd girl you will find, guiding us all intertwined. Joystick games and cosmic fights, wondrous days and sleepless nights. With her everything feels right, retro glow in neon lights. Joystick games and cosmic fights, wondrous days and sleepless nights. With her everything feels right, retro glow in neon lights.